Hey guys, we are back with our regular class lecture and the subject is structural geology. And today's topic of discussion is the introduction to structural geology. You may be thinking that we had made so many videos in structural geology and is this the right time to start the introduction, right? So actually when I start my YouTube video, my very first video is the types of food, I think, right? So I was just talking about structural geology before giving it a proper introduction. So what I was planning is I just want to give you at least now introduction for the structural geology, and for that concern I'm just doing this video. As one Steve Jobs said, we can only connect the dots by looking it backwards. So quite obviously I was trying to connect the structural geology topics which I made earlier to a point. So in a matter of fact trying to achieve that thing, I'm just doing this video. Welcome to my channel Success Guru and myself Panchanadam, and let's get into the heading. So, what is the very first record about the structural geology, right? So that will be the very first thing that had happened, right? So you can see this is the art which was created by the artist in the right hand side to present some sort of folding in the image. As you can guess that he is Leonardo da Vinci, and he was trying to show the folded mountain in the Italy, and it was somewhere near 1500 AD. So this is the very first record about the structures in the human history. And as you move further, this is the very first description about the rock deformation, which is proposed by Nicola Steno. As you know, one of the law that he proposed was the law of original horizontality, where a sedimentary rock during its origin will be horizontal to nearly horizontal, right? So whenever you saw any rock, any sedimentary rock especially, having some sort of inclination, which simply means that has been deformed. So this is the very first description about the rock deformation, which is somewhere near 17th century. So this is how the growth of the concept of structural geology actually starts. Then we have a good concept proposed by G.P. Scrope in 1825, and what he was saying was there are so much of vertical movements that leads to the formation of folded mountains. You know how? The movement of magma upward generates a mountain. So this was the concept which is proposed by him, and this is the sketch which he was explaining about the formation of a folded mountain, where you can see the magma is rising from the bottom that moves up, and that leads to the formation of some sort of anticlines and synclines that is formed in the flanks of these mountains. So this was accepted at that time, which was quite convincing for the people around. But later on, scientists thought that not only vertical forces, that also there are also horizontal forces that leads to the formation of folds. Just like that, if something cools, there will be formation of top layer, right? In the same way as when Earth was originated, it was a hot ball, and as it starts cooling, the crust was formed, which is a hard, thin layer at the top. And during cooling, there are shrinkages that leads to the formation of fold mountain. So this was the later concept after vertical movement, vertical forces that lead to the formation of fold. There are some concepts about like this for the formation that lead by the horizontal forces. Then we have James Hall, who recognized the Paleozoic strata in Appalachian in North America, and he proposed a theory called geosyncline, where sediments were deposited in a basin, and due to the sedimentary weight, it started moving down to a certain extent. Then, after reaching a particular depth, it started rising up, and that forms the fold mountain. So that is how it was formed. So this was a hypothesis proposed by James Hall for the formation of folded mountain, or even you can say the formation of structure called fold. And actually we made a detailed video in this heading. If you want, I will share the link in the description and you can have a look at it. Okay, then we are going to see some sort of basic laws which governs the idea about the structural geology. So I try to explain one after the other. The first one is the law of uniformitarianism, or the principle of uniformitarianism, which says that the present is the key to the past. And it was proposed by James Hutton in 1785, where whatever the geological process that happens today had been happening in the past and will be happening in the future. So this was the overall concept. As this concept is applicable, that's why we are studying the folds that is present now, which was formed in the earlier stage, right? So as we are studying the fold, fault, or any other structures present now, by studying that, you can have an idea about how it was formed in the past, and if you understand those concepts, you can apply that to the present condition. That leads to the formation of new set of fold mountains or fault or any other structure in the future. So just by understanding and following this principle, there is an application of studying any sort of structures. Am I right? Okay. Then this is the next law, which is proposed by Stein, the law of superposition. That is, within a layered sequence, the older rock occurs at the base of the sequence and younger rock towards the top, unless the sequence is inverted. In terms of overturning fold or any other happening, if that doesn't happen, then you can simply say the older will be at the bottom and younger will be at the top. So this was the law proposed by Steno, which is called as law of superposition. Then we have other law which is proposed by Steiner once again, which we said in the earlier case, that is the law of original horizontality, that a sediment and a sedimentary rock try to form at a horizontal or nearly horizontal orientation at the time of deposition. When there is a change in its orientation, that simply shows that that rock has been deformed. So this is the third law which we are actually following. Then we have the fourth law, which is also proposed by Steno, where it is said as law of cross-cutting relationship, or you can simply say structural relationship, where an igneous body or a structure, just like fold or fault, must be younger than the rock it actually cuts. So what he was saying is the structure or the intrusion should be younger than the rock in which it is present, or you can say the rock being cut or older than the one actually cutting the rock. Is that clear? So here's the image for that to explain that you can see this is the older and this is the younger, and this intrusion which actually passes through all these rocks should be the youngest in this sequence. So this is what cross-cutting relationship is all about. Is that clear? Okay. So this is the final rule, which is called as Pumpelly's rule, where a small structure or key to the mimicking the style and orientation of the larger structure of the same generation within a particular area. So when we are dealing with the larger structure, tectonic structure, if you concentrate in the smaller structures and have recorded all the details in the smaller structure, that will give you a generalized idea and orientation of this larger structure, how it is, provided this should be of same generation, that is it should be formed at the same time. Okay, so this is what the Pumpelly's rule. So these are some of the laws that is actually governing the concept of structural geology. I hope you got some ideas about this. We will try to do some further detailed video in the introduction itself, and I think this will be okay, and I will just try to close the class for today. I group my videos according to the category that you can check in my playlist. You can connect with us by mail, Facebook and Instagram. These are the links. You can support us by like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.